Hey, hey, happy Tuesday. You are officially talking with Terry. Hello, hello. I hope you're having an incredible day today. I know I sure have. So grateful, so grateful. So grateful for my team. So grateful for the people I met today. So thankful for the conversations. How about you? What are you thankful for, grateful for today? I'm thankful for all of you that are joining. So juicy, so juicy. I have some fun announcements today, so make sure that you're hanging on for some juicy details. And let's get this party started. So huge thank you to Amy. Amy, you know who you are at Jersey Mike's, one of my favorite sandwich places. I'm just going to say that. And so thank you, Amy. It was so great to meet you yesterday, and I hope that we see you in the near future. Such a delight. Okay. All right, let's jump on in here. Tonight we're going to be talking all things about the words that you may never hear. Okay, having a conversation today. Oh, Doc Digger is alive on scene. Hi, buddy. And he's a wet dog. He just got a bath. My husband just gave him a bath. Normally, I am the one who gives you baths, and you are now all wet. You are all wet, a wet dog. But he smells good. He smells like coconut. It's like he's like a little Hawaiian dog. Are you a Hawaiian dog? A little beach dog? Okay. All right. He has to make his appearance. Okay. So you can make your appearance. Okay. All right. Make your appearance. Say hi. Oh, he's like he has like a frog tongue. It's like, did you see that? We're talking about you. We're talking about you. Yes. Yes, we are. Okay. Well, lay down because you're not the star of the show. He's like, yes, I am. Okay, so let's get down to this. And so I was talking earlier to a client today, and I thought, wow, what an important topic to have a conversation around. And that is the words that you may never hear. So we hope that the conversations that we have and the experiences that we have in our life. And I'm gonna actually drop this up here for some of you that have been. You might have been reached out by our team recently. I am going to drop up here our event to make sure that you are in the know. So you see that bit.ly link. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to do something else. Edit. I'm going to make this a little bit clearer for you. So you're going to see this bit.ly link in here, and I'm going to invite you to come and join us for the Unlock Live. And I'm going to throw in a discount code, so it's super easy for you to come, save money, join us for a really powerful event. I've been doing this since 2017. It just gets bigger and better each year. And so come and join us. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't change. I thought I was outsmarting it, but I'd love to have you come and join us for the live event. It's a 2-day live event, April 21st and 22nd. If you have not registered, we still have some spaces available, but hotel space will go fast. So we are in the final months of that. So make sure that if you're coming, join us. Make sure that you get your tickets and make sure that you come and join us for that event. So good. All right, so back to it. Around these words that we may never hear. You know, when I was growing up, there were some words that I never heard. And it was interesting because one of the things that I didn't hear as often as I think I would have liked was I love you. And, you know, it was so interesting when my husband and I decided to have children. We decided to, I remember one night I was putting our daughter to bed and she was just a few weeks old. And I remember I was telling her I love you, and I'm walking her up to, put her in her crib. And I didn't hear my husband say it. And I said, honey, you got to say it. He's like, no, I already said it. And I was like, no, I did not hear it. I have to hear you say it to her. And it was one of those moments like I wouldn't take her up to her bedroom until I heard my husband say it to her because I needed to hear it for myself that he was saying it, right? And again, like every night and then pretty soon. And it's just been, one of those things. And I think, because I didn't hear those words, I think it's really important that we share those words more often. Right. And so I've made it a practice, I share that. And, but looking back, at all of our lives, and, some of the things that we may never hear, words like, I love you, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I'm proud of you. I would love to hear from you. What are some words that maybe you've never heard or that you think would be important to hear? And I think the neat thing about anytime that we become what I call the cycle breakers, right? And we can take ourselves out of that cycle. And I was listening to one of my clients today share her just profound story about the words she never heard. And it just teared up because it was just so profound as she was sharing the story and the impact that she had, this ripple impact, a beautiful ripple impact that she had. And here's what here's why I'm sharing this is that, some of these words we may never hear from the people we think we needed to hear it the most. And so we will waste sometimes years, if not decades, waiting for those words to be told to us or spoken to us. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, right? Like, and I announced it to her. I'm like, reporting to duty, bearer of bad news. You may never hear these words. And it's not to be snarky. It's not to be, whatever. That person might have, gone and made, that person might have already, been deceased. That person, may not have the capacity, whatever the reason, maybe the relationship is no longer intact to where you can have that conversation again. Who knows what the situation is? But I also want to make sure that we're not waiting for those words that we may never hear. And so what can we do internally to equalize and to balance out, if you will, that information? And so one of the things I'm going to invite us to do is, I was a therapist for 26 years. I've done some deeper work. We obviously are in this time right now where, gosh, I was sharing this with my staff today that, I said back in the day, the mirror over here of reflecting of what we have to get to work on was over here. And we could choose to look at it or not. And we're like, oh, maybe today I will. And maybe tomorrow today I will work with stuff. And then you're like, yeah, no, I have choice. And today I'm not going to deal with it. But right now the mirror has turned and we are not escaping this. So we are being shown things that we must work through, over, around, and under, and every which direction. And we're being shown this information for us, not to us, but it's allowing us to do this major purge right now. And so I'm going to invite us, one of the first steps in recognizing those wounds that we, or those words in this case, that we may never hear is, taking a moment and writing a letter to yourself, writing a letter to that person, whoever it is. But here's the deal. You're not going to send it to them. Okay. I repeat, you're not going to send it to them. This is for your healing. Okay. Whether you speak to that person or not speak to that person, it's irrelevant, because it's the deeper work that you're doing for yourself. And when we make the commitment to do that deeper work, it's profound. And so we don't have to have that other party involved unless you choose to. And that is totally up to you. I encourage you to get support around that. I encourage you to seek out counseling, therapy, coaching, whatever it is that you need to help support that and have that support system in place for you if you choose to go down there. But what I'm saying tonight is you don't need that. To do the deeper work is, writing that letter. So making that first step first. And, what is that, what message did you get because you didn't hear those words? And whatever those words for you, those words might be something completely different than what I shared tonight, but what those words were that you did not hear, or, or were not spoken to you in whatever capacity or whatever duration or whatever way in which you felt like you are not complete because of that. And so, writing that letter out, expressing those emotions, even the deep, raw emotions that you have, all of it's okay. None of it's to be judged or edited, if you will. And edited meaning, sometimes we will say things and we kind of edit in our minds and then we don't necessarily write it down fully. But I want you to, this is for you. This is for your healing process. And so, be authentic, be real. And that may change over and over times. And I remember writing a letter to someone that was pretty significant in my life. And the first letter I wrote was very rageful. It was filled with rage. It was filled with anger. It was filled with this absolute hate, right? And then the next rendition, it got a little, not much, but a little softer. And then the next one, it got softer, and eventually, I don't know, 1700 versions. I'm just kidding. Probably 6 or 7 versions later, it was me doing that deeper work of being able to forgive, and that's the most profound work that there is. And sometimes that profound work is around those words that you never heard spoken to you, and may or may not. But I don't want us to stop there. I don't want us to get trapped by those words that were never spoken, or maybe what do I want to say? Maybe it's even the words that we didn't say, right, in the situation, and maybe we can't say it. Maybe we can't go back. But my point is that we don't have to wait for them to do the deeper work. Okay, we get to do that work now, and as things are being exposed to us, as we are being shown more and more information around the work that we get to do on ourselves, and even in our families of origin, and even in our communities, we are right now purging a lot. And so I just want to invite you and share with you that you're doing incredible work, and just have some grace, because I think so much is there's a lot of pressure right now on ourselves of trying to keep it all together, a lot of pressure to trying to have it all figured out, a pressure on it shouldn't be this difficult in life, right? And so I was talking to some of my staff today, and we were having this conversation. I'm like, yeah, there's so much stuff that's coming up, and we're all experiencing it in different ways, and different and all of our goggles are different, right? I always say that when we go through life, we all get these invisible goggles, and these invisible goggles have layers and layers and layers of experiences, emotions, feelings, thoughts, ideas, experiences that all combine to reflect the journey that we've walked. And sometimes that journey is not so pretty. and I'm just going to invite us to sit with that. And what is it that, if you need to go back to that version of yourself, what age and stage were you in your life that maybe didn't hear those words? And what was that like? And, if you could go back as your adult self, meeting your younger self at that age and stage, what would you have liked to have heard? What did you need to hear? What did you need to, was it just a warm embrace? Was it certain words that needed to be spoken to you? Here's the thing, is that we can take our mind and go back there and start to heal those younger versions of ourselves, so that we can be, the best version of ourselves as we move forward. So right now we're all doing the deeper work. So having grace and just trusting that this is happening for us, not to us. And also, I would invite us to look at asking the question. The question is, what's right about this that I'm not getting? And when we start to see the gifts in it, if you will, when we start to see the awareness or the insights, or 20 years ago, my version of myself was quite different. And not to say that I was, necessarily proud of those, sometimes the way I showed up, or the way I acted, or the way I said things, but I know that my version now is who I'm becoming, right? And so we are all here to evolve and grow and expand. And I think that's the beautiful thing about, being on this planet. And it's the perfect time to start unpacking this. So if you know that you're ready to unpack some of this deeper work, if you're ready to let go of some of the stuff that has been stuck, that feels like you've been, carrying around for months or weeks or years or decades, I'm going to personally invite you to come and join us at our event, our live event. If you click down below, you see that bar, Unlock Live. Okay, we've been doing this since 2017. It's evolved over the years. It's always high energy. It's fun. It's engaging. We do a lot of the deeper work. We create the safe space for us to do that in a place where we come together as a collective consciousness and allow ourselves to be vulnerable and release. And so when we do this in a group, the neat part of this is that we get to release quicker and faster and more profoundly. So I would encourage you to come and join us. I'm dropping down a discount code. So if you use that discount code, okay, Social 50, it will save you some money, but it's going to be a profound experience. And it's interesting because as I'm planning and as I'm rewriting and redoing things for this event, I've really had a heart of change as far as how this event's going to look. And I'll be totally transparent. I'm coming in with more. I mean, some of you have been to the live event. We keep it real, we keep it fun, we keep it engaged. There's a lot of laughter that gets created and joy and throughout the experience, but there's also a lot of work that gets done, and I've just made a commitment to make it even more so. And we're going to be doing some deep dives, and the person you come into the event is going to be a more refreshed, more in tuned and aligned with your life purpose, and just doing some of that yummy deeper work. And so sometimes it's harder, when we're stuck in the rut and we're going through, we wake up, we go to get the kids off to school, we go to work, we come home, we dinner, we sports, we, back into the same, homework, evening routine, and back into it again. And so it's harder sometimes to do the deeper work, to do the deeper releases in that time, because we just don't ever have quote time. And so this event is designed to actually help us clear it, be done. Let's move, let's create, let's generate in a way that's super safe. And it's, the connections that happen, just the beautiful nature of it all. So lifelong friendships get made out of this event. So I'm going to encourage you and invite you to come and join us April 21st and 22nd. So mark your calendars, make sure that you grab this tonight, write it out, because it won't be up here forever. We will take these discount codes down here shortly. So make sure that you grab that information and come join us. It'll be a great time. All right, friends. Question for you is what are the words that you never heard or didn't hear enough? Okay. And let's do some self-healing around this. Let's not wait for that person or that situation to change. We don't need them to do the deeper work. Okay. We can allow ourselves to do this deeper work. And guess what? There's this really cool thing that's happening with all this energy. You've heard me talk about this before, is that all this energy is changing so quickly in here, right? Well, the gift is that as this energy is shifting so quickly, the neat thing is it's allowing us to purge faster. It's allowing us to purge with more ease, if you will. It's allowing us to move things in a way we've never been able to move things in before. And so it's happening. This is happening for us, right? And I've said this before on here, I'm sure, around the, Roger Rabbit analogy, that we are moving into this really beautiful time. And it will be in our lifetime. It will be in our lifetime that we come into this place where things are even more fully aligned for us as humankind. So I'm excited to be a part of this journey with you and alongside you. So come and join us. Can't wait to connect with you and support you on your path and be part of our community. Big hugs. As always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Big hugs, everyone. Good night, and I'll see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. MST time. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.